So, Happy New Year, barbarians. As I stated previously, this will be the last video that ever goes up on this channel. Since 2020, it's been an interesting social experiment here, but as I've stated in the previous videos, at this point, it's headed nowhere. That is a mix of a lot of people who are subscribed here, yet they, for all I know, may be in prison by now, or they may be dead. I don't know. um, for the amount of subscribers that I have here and the little interaction that is going on the platform, I don't really know what to think anymore. And like I said previously, I really don't care. It's gotten to the point, in addition to that, with the whatever subscribers are left not promoting the channel correctly, which I've warned everybody about numerous times, but no one wanted to listen. In addition to that, you have the whole cancel culture situations that I've discussed in the previous videos with, former employers of mine, minding my business for me, trying to infringe on my First Amendment rights. So all this bullshit is really why I'm just letting this come to an end. I will be on other platforms, but I'm not going to disclose what those platforms are going to be here because, unfortunately, for a lot of you who would like to follow me there, I understand that it's only a matter of time before someone else who, once again, has no life and wants to mind my business for me will try following me there and interfering in my personal life. So over the past few years, I've had enough of all this passive-aggressive bullshit. I've had enough of all these people playing their stupid fucking mind games and all this other bullshit. So, like I said before, if the majority of people want to deny clear, objective realities right now, they want to pretend the world's not burning, that's their prerogative. I've stated my case numerous times in these videos over the years regarding my views on feminism, the single motherhood epidemic, on gender ideology, and why I oppose those beliefs. I've spoken my piece on more than enough issues. So at this point, it's basically, the way I see it, it's just going to be lost in the ether, whether that's due to YouTube's increased restrictions on free speech on this platform, which is going to withhold these messages from you and your algorithms anyways, to other people who, no matter how I present ideas or whatever the case may be, I understand that it's always just going to fall on deaf ears. So, I gave it a good go. My goal was to originally try to gain more subscribers than I'm currently ending this platform with, but unfortunately, like I said, I got involved with this back in 2020, and back then the free speech guidelines were not as strict as they are now. Had I started YouTubing way earlier than 2020, I don't think I would be in the situation I am in now. So, that just is what it is. And like I said before, I refuse to use platforms like TikTok and Snapchat to try to gain subscribers and grow my brand. So that just is what it is at this point. But, just some last words of encouragement that I'll give you guys, and I've spoken about this a few times in the previous videos, is, moving forward, like I said before, focus on yourself and be loyal to yourself first and foremost. If you are not loyal to yourself, then no one else is ever going to be able to be loyal back to you. People want to play stupid today and play all these fucking games and ask themselves, why is it people like him and other people, they don't want to affiliate with us, and, I text them and I don't hear back from them anymore and this and that. It's pretty simple. And it's, something that I've said numerous times that a lot of you still just don't seem to comprehend. It's like, you are, whether it's with me or anyone else, you are presented with numerous choices in your life about who you are going to be loyal to and what your values in life are going to be. And based on those decisions that you make, whether you make them deliberately or unconsciously, that will determine the other choices that you make and ultimately the outcome of your life. If you place a value on shit like, smoking weed and getting dumber over time and tuning out with the rest of this brain dead culture, those are going to dictate your values. So that's going to dictate the losers that you fuck around with. That's going to dictate the lack of quality of your relationships as you go through life. Because, like I said before, potheads and drunks and all these other fucking idiots, these are the kinds of people who don't get the results they want in their lives. These are the kind of people that the only time you ever hear from them, they don't have anything intelligent to say. You know, the quality of your conversations with these people when they reach out to you is not going to be, oh, hey, I've been thinking about some self-improvement stuff. Can you help me out with this? Can you help me out with that? I'm tired of being broke all my fucking life. I want to try to make some moves this coming year, make some money, do this and do that. You're never going to hear questions like that from people who continue to just pollute their mind and body with drugs, and they consume mindless content, whether that's online or through the entertainment industry and all the trash music they listen to. These are all different things. These are all different choices that people make throughout the course of their lives. And I understand that my views on these things, once again, rub people the wrong way, and they don't like that, and that's why they don't affiliate with me, and that's fine, because those are choices that they've made for their lives, and they're completely and diametrically opposed to the choices I've made for my life. So, you need to see this from the perspective of not necessarily what you're going to lose, but what you are going to gain by not affiliating with people like this. Like I said before, I feel like a lot of people get too comfortable, they settle for less. So, that's why they refuse to either cut certain people out of their lives or not have anything to do with certain people because they don't want to be alone, or they don't want to be, looked at in an off light, or they don't want to be seen as an intolerant person. And like I said before, these are all bullshit comfort zone excuses. This is why most people today are most people. This is why there are so many people in society that they're truly lost. They just float adrift in this society. They're always seeking meaningless pursuits or pleasures or base desires, whatever the case may be. They dedicate their lives to materialism or whatever else they think is going to bring their lives purpose. And then they end up incredibly shallow and broken and alone later in life. And then they wonder why that is, when the answer was right there in front of them the whole time. Just in a similar vein of thought here, I can tell you that every now and then, some people will reach out to me, they'll text me or whatever, and these are people who I've already deleted their contact information a long time ago because I never heard back from them anytime I texted them or called them. And, they read messages and just couldn't be bothered to, message me back or something. So when they reach out to me, all those months or years later or something, I don't know who they are because I deleted their information off my phone. So one of the conversations I had recently, this person texted me and she's like, oh, hey, just wanted to see how you are. And the first thing I texted was, who's this? And the cognitive dissonance to me that she experienced was like literally astounding to me. Like, she was legitimately confused at what I told her. So the first thing I texted her back is I said, who's this? And she's like, oh, what do you mean? Like, how do you not know who this is? Don't you have my information saved? And I told her right off the bat, I said, if I don't hear from somebody within a few weeks, assuming it's like a death in the family or something like that, which most people will eventually tell you about, unless it's something like that, I just delete people's contact information these days. Like, I'm not wasting my time communicating anymore with people who um, act like they're obligated to be loyal to me or act like they're obligated to be my friend. I shouldn't have to give people reasons for why they would want to affiliate with me or like present them with some kind of incentive for why they would want to, reach out on a regular basis or build some kind of not even like a romantic relationship, but just thinking of it in terms of like a basic friendship or whatever else. But see, people are so delusional today. They're so self-entitled and so self-absorbed that concepts like friendship, loyalty, honor, they're radical foreign concepts to them now. This is why a lot of people you deal with, they don't know how to communicate anymore. just like regular human beings, because we deal with this social media society. We deal with people who are detached from reality. And like I've told numerous other people before, people can't even write letters anymore. Back in World War II, guys that were in the war would write their wives back home love letters. People today can't even write letters. God forbid, they can't even send a fucking email half the time. And so, just over time, this society has just become dumber. People have placed a value on literally everything other than what has made us great as a species to begin with, to the point where it's just, I don't know, like, you can be an optimist. I try to be an optimist myself and try to see the good in people and try to, have at least a little bit of hope to keep pushing forward and, maybe hope that there will be some meaningful changes in society over time. But overall, my experience has been that people are just so detached now. They have so many other problems going on in their lives that they just, year after year refuse to fix, refuse to resolve, refuse to address that. I feel like for a lot of people, that's just how they're going to live the rest of their lives. And that just is how it is at this point. But anyways, I explained this to her and told her that, you'll have to tell me who you are because your information was deleted off my phone. And, so then she tells me who she is, and I'm like, oh, okay. And I declined what she was asking. She was trying to invite me to some holiday party. And I said, no, I'm not interested, thanks. And, I just concluded the conversation with her, and she was just, like I said, just so amazed. Like, she was legitimately confused. Like, in her version of reality, it was totally acceptable for her to go for months without communicating to me after I had texted her last, for no reason, by the way. This wasn't like, I offended her like I tend to offend a lot of people. I didn't offend her or anything like that. I wasn't rude or vulgar or anything. And she had just like fallen off of the face of the earth. So I figured, oh, okay, whatever. Another one bites the dust. It is what it is. Move on. And it was just totally acceptable in her worldview to um, not communicate for an extended period of time like that and then want to reach out to me as if I'm going to drop everything at the drop of a hat or all of a sudden, uh, you know, be involved with her again and, oh, go with her here and do this and do that because she, wanted something. And it's like, no, like it doesn't work that way. And, I just described that situation because other people tell me similar things like this from time to time. So I know it's not just me who is experiencing this phenomenon. Like it happens everywhere. Like it's just an example of, like I said, how detached people seem to be from reality now. And honestly, like it makes no fucking sense to me. Like I said before, I'm of the persuasion that if people really wanted to be in your life, then they would find a way to do that. People have all the time in the world, it seems, these days to take their retarded fucking mirror selfies. They have time to do that. Most people can't even live in the moment anymore. Go somewhere, go on vacation somewhere, do something, charity work, whatever the case may be. They can't even do anything like that without taking a picture and then bragging about it basically all over social media about, oh, look at me, look at my perfect life, look what I did. Do you love me yet? Am I pretty enough for you in front of the camera? Okay, waiting for your super likes, please give me the attention that I deserve. That's the mentality of most people today. They have all the time in the world to do stupid shit like that. And then when it comes to just basic human interaction, they're fucking clueless. Even with something simple as a text. I understand a lot of people don't call each other on the phone anymore because some people are just socially awkward and they don't like communicating over the phone. And I understand that on some level, depending what the age group is, people my age, millennials, or a little older, it's not so much of an issue because we grew up with landlines and then cell phones. So I understand Gen Z or other people that are younger might be more comfortable with texting, which is fine. But then, eventually you have to do the fucking work. Like if you want to keep relationships with people, if you want people to stay interested in you or stay involved in your life in some way, then you need to fucking communicate that, because when you go months on end without talking to people, then it's only natural for them to assume that you have no interest being in their life. I mean, it's really that simple. If you're the kind of person who's, and this is the other problem too, a lot of people don't communicate with you because they want you to always be the one to initiate the conversation. They want you to be the one that's always reaching out and seeing how they're doing and this and that. And once again, you know, like friendships and relationships are two-way streets. You know, that's just the way that it is. But as I said, I understand people don't understand this now because we live in a pretty one-sided society. Everyone's so fucking narcissistic and trying to always get their fake clout or whatever the hell they have going on in their life that they think the whole world revolves around them, and it doesn't. So, you know, very often those people like her are very surprised when people like me just, you know, cut them out of our lives and have nothing to do with them anymore and don't respond to their calls or their texts. And, you know, it should be pretty obvious, but clearly it's not. So this is why, you know, I just kind of bring this up a little bit in detail. But the other thing, getting back to what I had said about, you know, doing the work, you know, that's another thing too to stay focused on this year. I mean, some of the previous videos that I've been making, you know, I've been thinking about all those people from over the years that to this day I have no idea what happened to them. They fell off the face of the earth. You know, a lot of the toxic people that I talked about in some of the last videos that had all these relationship problems and, you know, abusive relationships and everything. To this day, I don't know what happened to those people, and I really don't care. But I bring this up because, you know, I feel like those people, wherever they are right now, are where they are, I can almost guarantee you, because they didn't do the work. Not only did they not do work on themselves, but they did no work to try to better society over time. And that's just something that, you know, we'll end on today. You know, as I've said in the previous videos, for all these people that want to throw shade at me and act like I'm the fucking problem today and try to cause all these problems, you know, I don't see many of those people doing much of anything. You know, the people that were involved with me getting canceled off of the healthcare site, like I've said numerous times before, you know, these people want to sit high and mighty and act like they're good people or act like they know more than me. And considering the fact that, once again, most of them didn't even want to give me the time of day when I was presenting not only a superior philosophy to them and giving them damn good reasons for why I believed what I believed, but, you know, they couldn't even give me the benefit of the doubt. Like everything else in this fucking brainwashed society, it came down to, well, some people had their feelings hurt, so now we need to micromanage the whole situation and make sure that everyone feels valued and all this other horseshit. It's like, you know, you have grown-ass adults in these work environments and these colleges and everywhere else today, and all it is fucking babysitting. That's literally what half of this shit has turned into. It's high school drama all over again. It's everyone gossiping about who fucked who and who has the better car and who, you know, who does this or who does that. Or it's just babysitting because, once again, you have a bunch of emotional women who, you know, can't mind their own fucking business, and then, you know, they get offended by something that men like me have on my social media or anyone else or whatever, and they want to try to cause all these problems. You know, this is how pathetic these fucking workplaces are today. But, you know, I just bring that up because, like I said, all of the people that had issues with me in that scenario and were trying to throw all this shade and this and that, like I said, I don't see. Not only back then did I not see them doing anything, but today I don't see them doing shit. They might have their jobs lined up and be contributing to society in that way, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about meaningful activism. I'm talking about the fact that these are the kinds of people who want to act like what I'm doing, opposing feminism, opposing gender ideology, and all the trash that they're force-feeding basically your own children today in the schools, you know, the children that all you people claim to love so much, yet you can't be fucking bothered to even learn what they're being taught in schools and decide if maybe that's going to be a moral issue for you or not, because half you people have no fucking value, so why would you care anyways? You know, people like that want to sit in judgment of someone like me and sit back while they do absolutely fucking nothing themselves in that aspect of activism, but they want to throw shade at me and act like I'm the fucking problem. They want to act like they have the right to dictate how I use my social media platforms or the words that I utter, and a lot of it is based on, once again, other work that I've done, including reading books. God forbid, I know no one can fucking read anymore in today's, TikTok brain rot society, where people want to watch some mindless 10-second video on TikTok and think that they're actually learning something or obtaining knowledge themselves. A lot of the beliefs and a lot of the things that I say have to do with the work that I've done on myself in the past. And a lot of that, other than the activism that I've done in my own personal life, a lot of that has involved going to the source, doing research, reading my own books, affiliating with other people who, once again, a lot of times I may not agree with those people, but I would not know what I know today if I was not willing to immerse myself in other people's worlds sometimes and understand different worldviews, different religions, different belief systems. So I guess my biggest point of contention today with all these fucking idiots is that, you got all these people that want to live in their own little bubbles of, self-affirmation. Half these losers, once again, like a lot of the people that were in that HR session, they're basically football worshiping consumerist zombies that all they're doing with their life, they work a pointless 9-to-5 job that they probably fucking hate. No one respects them. They think they have authority, but they don't. No one respects them. No one gives a shit about them. But they're just a warm body, so they're paid to do a job. And then what do? On the weekends, they probably, uh, watch football, drink some fucking beer, like a goofball or something, and then go back to the job they hate on Monday and do the same thing all over again. That's the new brand of mediocrity that's basically sold to the modern masses. Like, by today's standards, if you can call them that, standards, to be a good person means to just fucking tune out with the rest of the culture and get hypnotized by sports ball teams on the fucking weekend while all the athletes get richer and you just get dumber and fatter and poorer. By their standards, a good person is somebody who buys into the narrative, who never causes waves, who never hurts anybody's feelings, who pretends that there's, four genders, who pretends that, all the single mothers that you work with aren't really just a bunch of toxic fucking women who, in reality, at this point in their lives, if they want to live the rest of their lives alone, that's their business. But, they have no husbands. They live pretty pathetic, meaningless existences. But, if you're a good person, you'll turn a blind eye on all that. You'll pretend that, you don't have values yourself. You'll pretend that, you don't believe in traditionalist values and you don't think that society should value marriage anymore, because if society actually valued marriage, then maybe the nuclear family unit wouldn't be a total fucking disaster right now. We wouldn't have so much crime in all these American cities. Another statistic that people like to forget is the fact that the cities in America with the highest violent crime rate are also the cities that have the highest rate of children who were raised in single mother homes. That is just a very obvious stat about how detrimental children being raised without their own biological fathers really is to society over time. These are all things that I've once again discussed on these podcasts over the years, and hey, no one wants to fucking hear it. They want to live in la la land. Like I said, once again, not my fucking problem, and I understand that. And this is another reason why, like I said, this will be the last video going up, because it's gotten to the point where I've said these ideas already so much that it's basically in a loop. I guarantee you, no matter what video you go through, if you actually pay attention to them and you go through, you will hear these talking points that I've mentioned numerous times. My worldview and my philosophy has not changed over the years. I am nothing if not consistent. So this is why we're ending the channel here where we are, because it's to the point where no matter how I discuss these ideas, no matter how I present it, I know for a fact that it's going to fall on deaf ears. And now I'm just beyond the point of fucking caring. There's no incentive for me to continue trying to engage with indifferent people. There's no incentive for me to keep creating content and trying to share it with people when they're going to tell me what they think I want to hear. A lot of times when people text me back or they see me in person, they're like, oh yeah, that was very interesting. Oh, I'll check it out. I'll do this. I'll do that. I know damn well that half these people don't give a fuck. And that's just fine. Like I said, that's their choice. But I understand that's also the case for a lot of you here. If it was not the case, then the videos would have far more likes. It wouldn't just be, a handful of my videos that have close to 100,000 views, yet the other ones have, like 50 to 300 or whatever the case may be. It's to the point that, like I said, between all of the apathy and indifference on your part as viewers or other people who are not subscribers who just tune in or find the channel randomly, between that and also the big tech censorship, I'm just done trying to figure out ways to get around that. I'm done waiting for that, little beam of hope where I might be able to have a breakthrough on this channel and actually have it grow. It's just gotten to the point between YouTube and the cancel culture fanatics and all these other fucking idiots. Like, they've literally just killed it. So hey, I gave it the best shot that I could. I tried working with it, but I'm between a rock and a hard place now. So hey, like, it just is what it is. If there's other ones of you who find the channel later on, by all means, go through the videos. If you want to try to learn something new, something different, if you want to try to improve your relationships because you realize that this society is a fucking lie. A lot of men today are raised by single mothers. They're raised as beta males, which means that, later in life, this is why they have all the issues that they do with women. This is why they select trash women for their relationships, or women themselves have no respect for you because, you were conned into being a beta male nice guy, which gets you nowhere as a man over time. Or if there's other videos that have to do with different philosophies and other things that I've referenced with the other public speakers that I've had appear on my podcast over the years, then hey, more power to you. Maybe you can use the information. So if it serves that purpose, so be it. But, we're at the point where, like I said, I'm not putting anything else up here. And if it's just going to be a waste of time, which I've come to the conclusion that that's basically what it is at this point. There's, like I said, really no incentive for me to keep going and putting this information out there. And that's one last thing that I will say about that whole about that hospital and how everything went down there. You would think, like I said before, that place spent, from the time I was a student there until the time shortly before I ended my my working there as an employee, they spent basically 2 years, and I'm not sure the details of it because they're fucking liars and manipulators, so who knows how it actually went down. But I can tell you this much. I know for a fact that they had IT people that were monitoring this YouTube channel for a while without me knowing. When I started getting interrogated, that became more obvious. But, just think about that for a second. Think about all the people that would have had to conspire against me for whatever petty bullshit reason, that they wanted to try to shut my platforms down and they didn't want certain messages getting out there to the general public, whatever the case may be. Think of how fucked in the head those people must have been to not only conspire to do that, but then to spend 2 fucking years, monitoring the channel, the posts that I was making. I'm sure they were monitoring my Facebook at the time too, back before I shut that down. Think of all the time that those people spent doing that. And also think of all the time that in their own personal lives, when they were doing that, they probably didn't do shit at all as far as, like I said, meaningful activism. For these people who want to throw shade, like I'm public enemy number one, or someone who needs to be silenced, the way I look at it, those people, if they wanted to, I'm sure a lot of them have broken families themselves, given all the single mothers that work there. I'm sure a lot of those people are, beta males who don't have girlfriends or wives, so maybe they could have been spending some time actually getting a romantic partner, getting fucking laid, maybe starting a family, who knows. It seems to me that a lot of those people, their time could have been much better spent other than trying to live vicariously through me on a YouTube channel. And like I had said previously in the talking point of not doing any fucking work, these are also the kinds of people that, think of some of the podcasts that I've put up that have to do with the manosphere. You know, I've said numerous times, there's events down in Florida. This isn't some like giant fucking secret. You know, you have the 21 and 22 conventions in Orlando. They are manosphere events that focus on male and female self-improvement. So just think about how obvious it is. This has been my main point from day one. Whether people realize this or not, I'll lay it out for all you fucking idiots one more time. Think of how chaotic this society is right now, whether it's gender grooming your kids, there's fucking 4,000 genders, all this horseshit, or the single mother epidemic, the broken homes, the deadbeat baby daddies, the fucking beta male losers that women have no respect for and they're never going to fuck them, or they're just going to use them for financial profit, whatever the case may be. Think of all this retarded shit going on in this society right now, and then think of the fact that like the manosphere is like one of the few solutions to that problem. Shouldn't it be pretty obvious that when I was posting these videos about, you know, 21 convention and hey, there's an event down in Orlando, do you think it went through one person's fucking mind, their, you know, shell of a fucking skull, to maybe buy a ticket and go down to Orlando themselves and see one of the Manosphere conferences, and then maybe they would have a different perspective? Do you think that idea ever went into those people's minds? No, I guarantee you that it didn't. And I know that for a fact because no one, with all the outrage that was caused by everything that was going on, not one single person asked me one time about going to that conference. They never asked me for information about it. They didn't want any details. Of course, they wanted to get outraged by what the public speakers were saying at those events, and I can understand that because, like I said, the Manosphere is America's only counterculture right now that is 150% opposed to feminism, woke ideology, all the trans garbage, all of communism, all of fascism, all of this stuff. They don't support any of it, and that's why I fully back them. You know, no one asked me one fucking question or sent me one fucking email asking about going to that conference. Now, like I said, you would think that that would be one of the first questions on their mind, wouldn't you, considering the fact that most women today are single mothers who don't have husbands and they have broken homes. So, like, you would think that idea might have come to their head at least one time, like, oh, gee, maybe I want to repair my relationship. Maybe I want to try to figure out a way to be a better woman because clearly what I'm doing now isn't working for my life since I keep dating fucking losers and I'm probably never going to have another husband again. And now my children are traumatized because I'm just an insane, toxic fucking bitch. Gee, I wonder, maybe I can go to that conference in Orlando and, you know, try to do that. No, that never went through their fucking heads. For all the men, if you want to call them that, men who viewed my content, do you think it ever went through their head one fucking time to be like, gee, you know, I'm really not hitting the mark as a man. You know, I'm a scrawny fucking beta male. I have no competency with women. I don't have a good paying job. I'm a fucking alcoholic. I'm a pothead. I'm a fucking loser. You know, I don't own my own car. I don't own my own house. You know, women don't like me, whatever the case may be. Do you think it ever went through their fucking heads one time to be like, gee, I wonder if I could go to the Manosphere conference in Orlando because that's a male self-improvement community that specifically focuses on this. Gee, I wonder if I could get better results if I stopped doing the same stupid shit that I've been doing for the past 5 or 10 years, taking advice from all these other fucking idiots who clearly don't know what they're talking about because they have no results to show for their lives any more than I do. Gee, I wonder if I should try something different. I wonder maybe these guys actually know what they're talking about. So clearly that never happened, and this is why I bring this up, because for all of these fucking idiots that have had all these complaints with me over the years, I find it ironic but also like pathetic and hilarious that it never once occurred to any of these people to try to better themselves. It never occurred to them once to try to take up their own forms of activism, to try to see the change they want in the world. You know, everyone wants to make all these fucking complaints today about people like me and other people when the reality is they need to do the fucking work on themselves before they can ever help other people and before they can ever help society. That's the fucking truth that no one wants to talk about. So, you know, in the future, you know, before, like I said, bitching about people like me, which I know it's very easy to do. I rub a lot of people the wrong way. Hey, that's just who I am. Like I said, we don't have to be friends. We don't have to work together. Most of you don't even know me personally, so what the fuck do you care anyways? You know, instead of throwing shade at people like me, in the future, like I've said numerous times before, maybe take some responsibility for your own damn lives for a change and recognize the fact that you are not hitting the mark. The other thing that I find amazing today is that women, as much as people want to throw accusations at me like I hate women. Like I said before, I don't hate women. I hate feminism. I hate that toxic fucking ideology that brainwashes women to hate men for no fucking reason. I hate that ideology that teaches men to value weak fucking beta males who don't believe in anything and hate men like me who actually have a pair and tell people how it is. Yeah, of course I hate the ideology of feminism, but that has nothing to do with hating women. So, as much as these people want to accuse me of hating women, the thing that I've asked very often is why women hate men so much, because clearly women hate men. Not all women hate men, but there are definitely a lot of women out there who do hate men. So, but my point of contention with all of this is that they hate all the wrong men, mainly the alpha males who actually believe in something and are willing to do the right thing in life. And like I said before, I find it pretty fucking hilarious that all these, the single moms, the divorced women, these loveless fucking women, basically, they want to tolerate and make excuses for every scumbag under the sun who treats them like shit or whatever the case may be. They want to make excuses and glorify all these like weak fucking beta males named Brock or whoever the fuck, like, oh, that's what a real man looks like. So you want to tolerate all of this, all these various manifestations of mediocrity, and then you have, some of the few men like me left in society who just have traditionalist values. As much as, once again, people like to throw shade, I have never gone out of my way to sell my beliefs to anybody, even though people love to stalk me online or whatever. I don't hand out propaganda. I'm not like all these religious fanatics that show up banging on your fucking door, giving you Jesus pamphlets or whatever. I don't do any of that kind of radical shit because I grew up in a very religious background. So I understand how fucking annoying it can be when there are people that have a message that you don't want to hear and they're trying to sell you that message. So I have always, because I grew up in that environment, I have always done my best to respect people's boundaries. That doesn't mean I don't have my own beliefs. That doesn't mean that I am going to pretend with you that the world's a perfect place and like not have a fucking opinion about women or gender or any other clown world fucking topic today. Fill in the blank wherever you want on that. But I've always done my best to respect boundaries. So, the thing that has really just driven me over the edge the past couple of years is all these fucking people that, they tolerate, like a lot of the women. They want to tolerate mediocrity. Like I told you in the previous video, those neighbors that I had, here was an example of a woman, fucking around with these two beta male losers. The one kid was, an abusive, alcoholic, fucking nobody. The other guy was just, a cuck, basically, a cuck for his, fat fucking wife. You got women like that who want to tolerate all of that kind of mediocrity and make excuses for these pieces of shit. Like, you gotta love them the way they are, and that's just the way it is. So fine. So she threw in the towel like a lot of you do today, and she's not alone. There's a lot of you other women out there who do the same thing with men. You want to throw in the towel and settle for less like all these other fucking losers. And then, you want to get bent about something trivial like my social media. You have no fucking life and you got nothing else better to do with your time. So, you want to go and take screenshots of shit and see what I'm saying and then try to, use it against me or get all butthurt about it, which, once again, like I said before, if any of you were actually honest about the shithole that you call your life right now, because a lot of you listening to this, that you're not hitting the mark. I'm not perfect. I've never said that I am, but I'm actually doing something to try to better myself in life. And the problem that I have with a lot of you fucking people is that you know that you're not hitting the mark, and yet you consistently refuse to make changes, and then you want to try to drag everyone else down with you. You want to try to attack people like me who have the fucking balls to tell men how it is, to tell women how it is, regardless of the consequences, regardless of whether these single moms and all these clueless fucking sluts like it or not. I tell people how it is, and I try my best to live a genuine life because I realize that without me being honest with people, they're never going to hear the fucking truth, which is why a lot of you end up where you do later in life because no one's ever been direct with you about anything, or if they have, you want to cancel culture them or ghost them, or once again, live in your little bubbles and fucking la la land and pretend that this is not happening. That's your life. That's your choices. I don't choose that for my life. I know where that gets people because I also come from a family of a lot of losers, okay? My uncle fucking died 2 years ago, and he ended up a loser and a fucking nobody because he lived off the system his whole life. He fucked around with drugs and alcohol. He never took responsibility for his own damn life. So that's why he ended up dying alone, fucking miserable. No wife, no legacy to speak of, whatever the case may be. So, growing up in a family like that, growing up with people who like all they know how to do is lie, and they're emotional manipulators and also emotional cripples, which is why hardly anyone in my family knows how to communicate. Seeing all of these dysfunctional traits in people over the years is what has driven me to self-improvement, like the self-improvement sphere. This is why I'm so passionate about trying to encourage other people to take responsibility for their lives. So the thing that I cannot fucking stand is when no one else wants to do that kind of work today. No one else has the balls to step up and try to do any of that shit. And then they want to turn around and act like I'm the fucking problem. You have a whole society of losers right now. No one has a pair. No one wants to speak the truth. You got all, like I said, all this mediocrity just openly tolerated, and everyone scrolls on social media and, oh, well, let's just pretend this isn't happening. Oh, whatever. Yeah, people are stupid. They all smoke weed, and oh, yeah, we all have shit jobs. Oh, it's great. Yeah. And then the women want to joke, oh, well, I guess I'm going to die alone. Yeah, I don't really like men. And yeah, I guess I'll just, die alone with my cats and all that. It's like, dude, this shit is so fucking pathetic. I really just cannot understand why people would want to live their life that way. So, hey, if I don't if I fundamentally reject all of that shit that you people have chosen for your life, the way that I see it, that's my fucking business. And, like I said, the main problem is that a lot of you, you're never going to transcend your own mediocrity. So the only way that you can really exist anymore in this world is to try to either sabotage people like me or live vicariously through us. And however you look at it, this is just loser shit. Think about how much better a place the world would be if you could actually surround yourself with other people who didn't want to be fucking losers. If you could actually affiliate with people who were interested in the same things that you are. They want to make more money. They don't want to be a fucking wage slave. They want to get the fuck out of the ghettos or get the fuck out of these shithole American cities and go and travel a little bit or do this or do that or, have better relationships so they don't end up, with a single mother or some beta male broke ass fucking loser or whatever. How great would the world be if people would just take accountability for their fucking lives, own their mistakes, stop making excuses, and then move forward for a better future, and that might sound like a pipe dream, and a lot of you might think that's not possible, but I'm telling you, it is possible because I've seen it done. I have other friends who are doing that right now, and that's the problem that I have with a lot of you. A lot of you aren't doing shit, and I'm not talking about sabotaging people like me and cancel culturing people like me. Clearly, all of you are doing that. Clearly, if if nothing else, you know how to do that kind of pathetic shit really well. So my main message has been to get out of that kind of thinking because that's slave mentality shit. That's the slave mind taking control of your life. So instead of, once again, trying to fight people like me, maybe in the future have the common fucking sense to realize when you, once again, take accountability for your own actions and your own shitty life choices and you want to build something better, maybe have the common fucking sense to recognize that people like me are the way that we are. We talk the way that we talk. We believe what we believe because we've lived lives of accountability. We've owned our own shit, and now we're taking steps to move forward. And if you're the kind of person who can't accept that, or you want to get, all emotional about that and try to fuck with people because that threatens your ego, and you just, for whatever reason, you just insist on being a fucking loser, and you just refuse, like I said, to transcend your own mediocrity, then, like I said, that's your own problem. We all make our own beds, and like I said before, in the future, I don't know what's going to come of any of this shit down the road. Like I said, I'm leaving the videos that are up here right now public. Like, I really don't give a fuck. I feel like there might be some people that can still benefit from them in some way, so I'm not going to take them down. So I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I'm sure there will be people once again in the future who have, like I said, nothing else better to do. So, they're potentially going to get offended by these videos, and they're going to try to find any way under the sun to try to sabotage me. And at that point, hey, I'll just fucking see him in court, because, like I said, I've been doing this for about 4 years now, and it's just to the point where, it just is what it is. Like, I don't know what half these people expect from me. Like I said, I'm not apologizing for who I am. And whether those are people that I work with, if they know me personally, or even if they're my own friends and family, like I said before, like, this is just who I am. And like I said, more people would actually be loyal to each other today if they knew what that word actually meant. If I were to have to soften who the fuck I am for your comfort level, then that means that you would never know who I really am. So you wouldn't actually be loyal to who I am as a person. Why the fuck? This is the other thing I'll just say in closing. I don't understand why the majority of you, like, you would rather go through life pretending to be somebody else for other people's comfort level. And what all of you, like, fail to fucking realize is that when you do that, this is why your relationships fail. This is why a lot of other things don't work out for you for day one, because you're putting on this mask day in and day out, trying to be somebody else, saying what everybody else wants to hear. And then you fucking wonder why down the road, when the mask drops and you finally are exposed for who you really are, no one wants to be loyal to you. Why? Because from day one, you fucking lied to them about who you are. They never had a real version of you to be loyal to. So now they see the real you, and they don't want anything to do with you, which is fine. That's going to happen in various circumstances. Like, especially a person like me, my personality is not for everyone, and I'm totally fine with that. It makes my life a lot less complicated. It means that there's far less people that I even have to deal with from day one. And frankly, I actually prefer it that way. Like, I'm not a person who needs to be surrounded by, a bunch of people at a party, or I always need all these people around me kissing my ass. Like, I'm just not that kind of a person. So, but the good thing about being yourself, like, right from day one, is that people know right up front who you are, and then they can actually be loyal to you because that's who you are. If you're changing how you speak or trying to hide your religious beliefs or your political beliefs for, I don't give a fuck who it is, whether it's your romantic partner or your employer or your college or your fucking government, I don't care who it is. If you're pretending to be somebody else, then that means that the other parties are never going to be able to truly be loyal to you. And like I said before, I feel like whether it's the people at that hospital or a lot of the other people that I've had to burn bridges with the past couple years, I feel like if half these people really understood that concept that I just laid down for you guys about loyalty and honor and what it really means, if they understood that from day one, we wouldn't have had all these problems that we did. But like I said, we live in a society of fakes and liars and people that, like I said, they want to deny reality. And now, the way that this society is with social media, they want to create an atmosphere where, well, if you don't like this, just pretend it doesn't exist and swipe left and tune it out. So, hey, this is why there's all this disorder and chaos and everything going on. And, like I said, go through the videos if you want. We talked a lot about ideological infection and how that works and why a lot of people say the same buzz phrases when you start talking about a lot of different philosophical ideas and this and that. A lot of the videos will help you if you're interested in philosophy and trying to understand, how people think and also how to develop your own worldview so you can actually be an intellectually competent person in this world of just total mediocrity, stupidity, and chaos, and at the end of the day, evil. Like, there's really no other way to put it. I know a lot of people today want to sugarcoat it and act like that's not what it is. No, that's what it is. We're living in a world of evil. The world is upside down. There's no morality anymore. There's, truth is frowned upon in many social circles. So this is why all of this is happening. So anyways, I've spoken my piece on these issues. I don't know any other way to put it. So I guess I'll just leave you there for right now. It's the first day of the year. Really hoping a lot of you, hey, best of luck to you in your future endeavors. And once again, if you're a person I've had to burn a bridge with over the years, like I said before, you're not going to hear back from me when you reach out to me now. But, if you are reaching out to other people to, try to reconnect with them or whatever, maybe just keep it in the back of your mind. They might be thinking the same way I am right now. So maybe have a better alibi up your sleeve the next time when they ask you how you've been doing and, what you have going for yourself in life. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm not alone. There are a lot of people that we're just tired of hearing all the fucking excuses, and life's too short for all this bullshit. So I don't know. Hopefully you're trying to turn yourself into the kind of person that you want to see in the world and who is going to be able to help other people. And like I said, start making some moves, doing things to better yourself instead of staying stuck in your rut and, just doing what you've been doing from day one, which is clearly getting the majority of you nowhere. So anyways, so that'll do it for now. Happy New Year.